Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Cathy McGrath, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 17, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. And today's issue of the Neepawa Banner and Press is for Friday, May 16th, 2025. And right on the front is a pun. Genie Us performance dazzles the crowd. Neepawa Area Collegiate Institute students gave the show of a lifetime as months of hard work, practice, and preparation ended when students hit the stage, put on the major production of Disney's Aladdin Jr. The show ran from Thursday, May 8th to Saturday, May 10th, including a matinee which filled the Roxy Theatre for all showings. Congratulations to the cast and crew. And we are Sammy Strong, pictured here on the upper left side. On Monday, May 12th, NACI celebrated Sammy Vato's strength, courage, and positivity as he battles cancer. An assembly was held and featured Sammy shaving Mr. Rainey and Mr. Wiccan's head in a show of support. As well, Sammy Strong wristbands were sold and the funds donated to support Sammy and his family. We all stand with Sammy as he continues in his battle against cancer. And local auctioneers among Canada's best. And that's pictured on the right side over there. The Livestock Markets Association of Canada, LMAC, hosted its annual convention in Brandon from May 8th to 11th. During the convention, attendees had their chance to browse the trade show, make industry connections, and listen to keynote speakers. On May 9th, LMAC hosted the Auctioneering Championships in Verdun. Gladstone Auction Mart auctioneer Tyler Slowinski, left, was crowned the reserve champion, while Blaine Houston, right, was chosen by peers for the People's Choice Award. Local auctioneer Joss Unruh, not pictured, also received accolades for being in the top 5 for the interview competition. And a disturbance along Trans-Canada Highway results in non-fatal shooting. One person is in hospital recovering from a gunshot wound after a public disturbance close to Carberry on Monday, May 12th at around 9:30 p.m. RCMP responded to reports of an unknown person causing a disrupting traffic on the Trans-Canada Highway near Route 88 West. Multiple witnesses reported a woman was walking in and out of traffic. When an officer arrived on scene, they witnessed the female acting erratically and climbing up onto vehicles while in possession of an edged weapon. Police made numerous attempts to de-escalate the situation. However, the woman ignored the requests and continued to behave erratically. When the officer attempted to approach the individual, the female advanced quickly toward the officer with an edged weapon, forcing the officer to discharge his firearm. The woman sustained a gunshot injury. Officers immediately provided medical aid until EMS arrived. The 50-year-old female from the RM North Cyprus Langford was transported to hospital in stable condition. In an RCMP media release in reviewing the incident, it was stated that the officer was wearing a body-worn camera, which was activated upon arrival at the scene. The video has to be turned over to the Independent Investigation Unit. Carberry RCMP, along with officers from Manitoba RCMP Major Crime Services, continue to investigate. And Right in Center by Ken Waddell. PC Leadership Races, a review. The Manitoba Progressive Conservative, PC Party, has historically struggled over a number of issues, include organizational structure and leadership. This column deals with the leadership issue. Over my lifetime, there have been a number of PC Party of Manitoba leadership races. I was too young to really remember how the election of Duff Roblin unfolded, as it was in 1954 when I was only about 6 years old. When Roblin resigned in 1967, a leadership race was declared, and Walter Weir of Minnedosa won against Sterling Lyon, Dr. George Johnson, and Stuart McLean. It was a delicate selection convention with 466 votes cast in the first round of voting. It was hotly contested, as I witnessed the convention having been recruited by Dr. Johnson's daughter, Janice, later to become Senator Johnson. Janice and I sat on the University of Manitoba Student Council, UMSU, together. Walter Weir was defeated in the 1969 provincial election by Ed Schreier and formed the first NDP government in Manitoba. A leadership convention was held in 1971, where Sidney Spivak defeated Harry Enns in a delegated convention by 261 votes to 251, a total of 476 votes. In 1975, another delegated convention was held where Sterling Lyon defeated Sidney Spivak 264 to 207, a total of 471 votes. The 1983 Leadership Convention was delegated as well. It was a hotly contested event where on the final ballot, Gary Filman received 261 votes, Brian Ransom got 217, and Clayton Manis got 71. The 2000 Leadership Convention gave Stuart Murray the leadership by acclamation, as Darren Prosnick withdrew from the race earlier. The 2006 Leadership Convention was the first one-member, one-vote leadership election. This concept had been presented and debated at numerous AGMs, and the process was finally adopted for the 2006 leadership race. The results were Hugh McFadden, 6,091 votes, Ron Schuler, 1,953, and Ken Waddell, 1,069. Brian Pallister was acclaimed in the 2012 leadership race. The 2021 leadership race was also hotly contested, with Heather Stephenson winning 8,405 votes to Shelley Glover at 8,042. Disagreement extended past voting day as Glover's team contested the results in court, but the court did not find in her favor. The 2025 PC Manitoba leadership race was won by Obi Khan with 2,198.8 votes over Wally Doddridge, 2,163.2 votes. The 2025 leadership race used a weighted points per constituency system, and while Khan won on points, Doddridge received 45 more total votes. The weighted system is similar to what has been used in the Conservative Party of Canada leadership races. The process has been highly debated, with detractors saying it distorts a true one-member, one-vote system. Proponents say it allows for a better regional representation so as to avoid larger membership ridings from overwhelming the vote. I believe the system came about in the federal party level, the CPC, at the insistence of former PC leader Peter Mackay when the Progressive Conservative Party of Canada merged with the Canadian Alliance Party, formerly Reform Party of Canada. The one-member, one-vote system makes accessibility to voting much easier for all members. Many people are challenged financially or by location to travel to a delegate selection meeting, or even more, to a leadership convention. Going forward, there needs to be many discussions among PC Manitoba members and other people about the leadership selection issue and organizational issues. And Home Buddies by Rita Friesen. A Mother Heart. Some things change and some things never change. Here are words that I penned decades ago and relived this month. I marvel at a mother's heart. Not necessarily a mother's heart, for that's exclusive. I've witnessed a mother heart in many who have never borne a child, and unfortunately, some mothers lack one. This capacity to love and to feel hurt is inexhaustible. There are unexplained manifestations of this condition. It is the feeling of bursting with pride and embarrassment when our 5-year-old gets up on stage and lisps out their lines while hitching a skirt around their elbows or picking and scratching, depending on the gender of the child. Geniuses, all of them. a half laugh and a catch tears when our loved ones achieve a goal and receive public acclaim. A part of them is us. Sometimes this sensation can be frightening in the very intensity of emotion. A first solo date, but that's just a prelude to the farewell of college or past the Kleenex, a wedding. But the child, male or female, we know so well the dangers, the hard work, and the joys that await them. And we can never adequately prepare them for all of life. No wonder we choke. They flub, we suffer. They do well, we exalt. Our heart beats for life for us, but with life for them. There is no impassive observance of their comings and goings. We feel it all. Some incidents probably hurt us more and longer with them. I've wondered on occasion if I'll outgrow this affliction. I've wondered too if I want to. It is indeed a fine and wondrous misery. I witnessed a touching scene, and it indicated that this may truly be a chronic and lifelong malady. I watched a mother's reaction as her son sang in a duet at church. Suddenly she sat a little straighter, her head nodding approval, and her feet keeping time with the music. You could see the message in her very demeanor. That's my boy. What struck me most was that her boy was in his late 40s, and she was nearly 80. So no, we don't recover. With retrospection, I conclude that this primal urge is a well-thought-out divine plan. It certainly works. Now I am almost 80. The child on stage is a new great-grandchild. Almost 4 years old, she participated with her dance class on the stage at the Roxy. 2 great-grandparents, 2 grandpas, and a nana, an auntie and a cousin and an auntie with her friend, and another auntie and a great-auntie were all there to cheer her on and applaud until our hands hurt. I was amazed at how my throat closed and my eyes leaked as this was at this wee lass, shy by nature, followed instructions, and almost enjoyed her time on stage. This throat closure and leaking eyes comes often. Pride in the consideration my family shows to each other, the love and consideration they extend to me. I know that I'm not alone with this mother heart malady, and that's a wonderful gift to humanity. Faithfully Yours by Neil Stroshine. Looking back. In 2 months, I will celebrate another birthday. Birthdays used to be days I welcomed because with each successive birthday, I was granted new privileges. For example, birthday number 16 allowed me to get an Alberta driver's license. Birthday number 18 meant I had the right to vote. It also meant that I could leave home, get a place of my own, if I chose to do so, and do all those other things a legal adult can do. Birthday number 19 wasn't nearly as joyful. It was a day to look back on the previous year, celebrate achievements, acknowledge mistakes, and identify changes I needed to make that would help me grow in my ability to think, speak, and act as a responsible citizen, a productive employee, and a faithful follower of Jesus Christ. I have done that every year since. Some birthdays have been days for joyful celebration. Some have been painful and filled with regret. Today, as another birthday draws near, I marvel at all of the changes I have seen in my lifetime. As I write these words, I am looking at the screen of a home computer. To my left is a smartphone that can do almost as much as this computer. On my wrist is a watch that monitors my heart rate, counts the steps I take each day, tells me how long I slept the previous night, and reminds me of a pending appointment or task I need to complete. Modern technology makes it easy to communicate with family and friends, and enables us to watch events that happen on the other side of the world in real time. Few of these things were available to us when I celebrated my birthday number 19. But these modern benefits, as good as they often reveal evil and sinister elements in society, for every truthful and factual news item we see online, there is at least one filled with exaggerations, assumptions, and outright lies. Anyone living anywhere in the world can become the victim of a smear campaign, online bullying, or identity theft. And although modern technology is making our world seem smaller by the day, recent acts by foreign governments and our own have built walls of economic, social, and political separation between countries that were once good neighbors and even better friends. These recent developments have had a significant impact on how I view the world in which I live. I will address this topic in detail next week, but they have also reminded me of one significant truth. Everything in our world may be changing at a rapid pace, But one thing remains constant. My faith, and I hope yours as well, is in a God who never changes, in Jesus Christ, who is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and in the Holy Spirit, who is as real and present among us today as he has always been. One God, three persons, three in one, ever three and ever one. In those times when I feel the grip of anxiety and despair, and I've had my share of them this past year, it is comforting to know that God has not abandoned us. He has not left us here to flounder around on our own. He is before us, beside us, behind us, and hovers over us at all times. And if we all allow him to do so, he will come to live inside of us and to give us his everlasting peace. And Gladstone Cattle Market Report by Blaine Houston, Gladstone Auction. The market was still really strong this week on all types of classes. Supply and demand is definitely still holding this market and driving it higher. At Tuesday, May 13th market, it didn't seem to matter whether the cattle were heavy or lighter. All weight classes sold strong. Cattle that will be fit for grass or breeding are selling very strong. We saw more cattle than we anticipated this week, but with these prices, more pens are being emptied than being filled. The cattle are still in demand, and I expect to see supply start to run even shorter as we get closer to sending cattle to grass. We sold 1,064 head of cattle through the ring on Gladstone on May 13th. Cows and bulls sold with soaring demand. Feeding-type cows and heiferettes are still selling strong. High-yielding cows still traded from 210 to 2.3. Feeding-type cows are ranging between 220 to 247. Bulls trading stronger at 245 to 268. Some highlights from the sale: 505-pound black steers traded for $6.30. Fancy tan steers weighed 628 and brought $5.65. Their heavier brothers weighed 717, and they cashed in at around $5.14 a pound, dollaring out to $3,685 a head. Heifers, red exotic heifers, weighed $4.54 and traded for $6. A ring full of crossbred heifers weighed $5.18 and made $5.12. Buckskin heifers weighed 698 pounds and cashed in for $4.69. And we have thumbs up and thumbs down. A big thumbs up to the Neepawa Safeway and store manager and staff for the thoughtful bunches of flowers you had delivered to our doors at KK2. It was much appreciated. Thank you again for your gift of thoughtfulness. From the residents of Kinsman Courts 2. And thumbs up. Congratulations to the cast, crew, and production team for NACI's major production of Disney's Aladdin. Special mention of Keegan Dyke as Genie and Trent Tomanico as Aladdin, from John Drinkwater of Neepawa. And a thumbs down. Well, summer is here again, and we have the same issues, it seems, with children and adults on scooters and in and out of traffic, cutting people off and wearing no helmets. Thought the town was going to deal with this issue, but as usual, nothing is done. Are they waiting for someone to get ran over? This needs to be dealt with. By Terry Bradley of Neepawa. And another thumbs down from Terry Bradley. Summer is here and there's no sign of any streets being fixed, and they are getting worse. Why can't they be fixed? The street by the old cop shop corner at the Dairy Queen in number 16, and the list goes on. Why is nothing being done? Older people on mobility scooters and walkers tripping through the streets is awful. Town is a disgrace, and filling with asphalt when holes are full of water or sand, dirt doesn't work. And we have an editor's note. In response to the concerns above about street repairs, the town of Neepawa has budgeted for and scheduled some street upgrades for 2025. Mill Street, Mountain to First, Mill Street Boulevard at Gillen Small, 2nd Avenue, Renewal Mill, Hamilton, Adelaide Avenue Renewal, North-South Road from PTH 16 to the new East-West Road, Hospital Access, the East-West Road from the Industrial Park to Broadway, and some work to create the North-South Road between the hospital and the new school. Further, some additional work will be completed on Commerce, Isabel, and Barker Street. Two-wheel scooters, electric or otherwise, are not allowed on sidewalks and are supposed to obey traffic rules. They are not supposed to be weaving or cutting people off, and wearing a helmet is mandatory. E-scooters can be used on roads with speed limits of 50 kilometers an hour and less, and on bike paths. Town bylaw enforcement is being handled by town staff as they don't have a bylaw officer at this time. And that is from Ken Waddell, the editor. Good information. And Your Listening Ear by Dilsey Martin. The Four Horsemen of Your Relationship. Dr. John Gottman is an American psychologist focusing his many years of research on divorce prediction. After many years of studying real couples, he discovered 4 communication patterns which were a strong predictor of divorce. Today I'd like to discuss these patterns in more detail. If you notice that your relationship includes any of these patterns, it may be time to seek out support in your relationship. The first horseman is criticism. It's important to remember that there is a difference between criticism and complaint. The key differences lie in tone, focus, and intent. A complaint focuses on a specific issue or behavior and is constructive in nature. For example, I felt frustrated when you were late today. A criticism focuses on a person's character or personality, not just the behavior. Example, you are so inconsiderate, you are always late. A complaint is about the issue or behavior. A criticism is about the person. Criticism makes the person feel attacked, rejected, and personally deficient, and will surely shut down any ability to be rational in a conversation. The second horseman is contempt. When we approach our partner in this state, we are mean. We treat our partner with disrespect. We mock them or make fun of aspects of them. Body language like eye rolls, sneering, or dismissive hand waves can also be a form of contempt. Contempt is you believing and showing that you are superior over your partner. Contempt comes after a long time of having negative thoughts about your partner and is the single best predictor of divorce, according to Gottman. If you are feeling contempt for your partner, try this exercise. Each day, write down one thing that you are grateful to your partner for. It can be as simple, like he made me a cup of coffee, or complex. The third horseman is defensiveness. Defensiveness comes when we feel accused of something. It involves blaming your partner, denying responsibility, or playing the victim. Defensiveness doesn't work, though, because it sends a message to our partner that we don't take their thoughts seriously. It escalates conflict, shuts down empathy and problem solving, and blocks accountability. A way to effectively work with your defensiveness is if you notice that you are being defensive, try and take accountability for one thing, even if it's only a small part of the issue. The fourth horseman is stonewalling. Stonewalling is when the listener shuts down, withdraws from the conversation, and stops responding to their partner. Maybe you turn away, maybe you act busy when you are not, and maybe you lock yourself in your room. Ignoring your partner is a very damaging thing to do to them. Stonewalling is a result of feeling flooded with emotion and not knowing how to manage it. When we are flooded, the prefrontal cortex of our brain, responsible for being rational and reasonable, is flooded with the stress hormone cortisol. Our brains need about 20 minutes for that stress response to come down before we continue with conversations. So if you feel flooded with emotion, don't be afraid to ask your partner for a 20-minute timeout. This is something you can even arrange ahead of time of the fight by having a hand signal or phrase that you can say to your partner when you need some time to process. The horsemen are not a one-way ticket to divorce. They are warning signs that indicate a problem is present. If you and your partner are working as a team on your relationship, these can absolutely be addressed. Don't be afraid to seek out help from a relationship counselor. And fabulous fun expected at Neepawa Color Run. New Rotarian group planning a creative fundraising event by Owen Devereaux. A group of local volunteers are looking to make a splash of color in their first major fundraising effort. Rotary, the New Wave, Neepawa is organizing its inaugural color run for Saturday, May 24th at Rotary Park. A color run is an untimed running, walking event which has become very popular over the last decade across North America. The festivities involve participants traveling either a 1 or 5 kilometer path. Along the way, they are being showered with multicolored powder, which is usually made of environmentally safe food-grade cornstarch. Participants typically wear white at the start and are left covered in vibrant colors by the end. The event is not a competition, but rather an experience. It first took inspiration from Holi, a Hindu festival that is a celebration of colors, love, and spring. Phenomenal early response. As for our local version of this event, New Wave Neepawa member Jenna Lowry's said they are inspired by the success of similar types of runs which have occurred in other communities. She said those involved feel as though this type of fundraiser could also succeed a little closer to home. We all have young families and are invested in our community. We want to make our community the best it can be for ourselves and for the future. Volunteering as a Rotarian gives us the opportunity to do so. Our board has been color runs in other communities over the years, and we thought it was a great and inclusive place to start. We hope that it can become an annual event, said Lowry. And it appears as though the early optimism was well-founded, as the initial level of interest has been phenomenal. Lowry said that 188 participants have already pre-registered and said they are hoping to have a commitment of up to 200 runners by the day of. Pre-registration is not a requirement, as walk-ups on the day will be accepted. As for what they are raising funds for, all proceeds from the day are being directed to, Lowry stated, that it will go towards enhancing the children's play structure located at Rotary Park. We would like to see a complete play structure overhaul at Park Lake, Rotary Park, but as one can imagine, that is a tall task to raise that amount of money. So our group has decided to focus on a first step, and that is to raise the funds to add a zip line to the current play structure area, similar to the zip line that is at the beach play structure in Minnedosa. The money raised from this event will be going directly into that fund. What's the New Wave? New Wave Neepawa is a satellite club branching from the current Rotary Club, with its creation inspired by local member Wayne Jacobson. Being a current district governor of Rotary International, Wayne is obviously very passionate about being a Rotarian and volunteerism in general. The Neepawa Rotary Club has been looking for years to get a younger generation involved, and through his daughter-in-law, Raylan Jacobson, he was able to sell us on the idea, and now here we are, Lowry explained. As a new branch of Rotary in our community, we are excited to work together and raise funds to support projects around Neepawa that will make a positive difference in our community. Technically, this is a New Waves Neepawa's second fundraising initiative, but first of this grand scope. Earlier this year, they provided lunches for players and spectators at the Neepawa Curling Club Provincials held back in January. This fundraiser is a much bigger and broader project, being operated in conjunction with the Neepawa Chamber Fair weekend. Day of registration for the Color Run is scheduled for May 24th at 9:15 a.m., with the run walk set to start at 10 a.m. Early registration is still possible by going to the Rotary Club's Neepawa's social media pages or Googling Color Run Neepawa to learn more. Books. Rotary Club begins its annual sale by Joshua Jackson. Readers rejoice. If you're looking to find a good deal on a book or maybe some new reading material, the Neepawa District Rotary Club has your back. The club launched its annual book sale on May 12th for eager bookworms to find their next read. The sale takes place from May 12th to 16th, and Rotary Club Secretary Bob Durston said their new location is perfect for the sale. We are very pleased this year that we have been able to work with the Rifle Club for the first time. It's turned out to be a good place to hold our book sale because you've got entry in and it's easy to get around, he said. Our first day turnout was phenomenal. When you see the number of people, not only from our community, but also from the surrounding area, they look forward to coming to our book sale because they know they can come and get quality books and have their summer reading. Readers can find a whole variety of books from autobiographies to Western, self-help, romance, fiction, and everything in between. The sale takes place from 2 to 8 p.m. We're pleased we can offer this service. People are always downsizing, or they've read the book at least twice, so they need space to put the new books. So they donate them to us, said Durston. It's a good fundraiser because all the money that we raise here after our expenses all goes back into the community, scholarships, and youth programs and projects. Durston estimates that last year's book sale had about 7,000 books, which is very good for our area, and believes this year's sale rivals 2024. It gives shoppers a good opportunity to see a lot of different authors, and some authors are very popular when they're writing, but not so popular in resale. We collect the books and we sort them by alphabet. So anybody coming in here, if you know what your author's name, then you can head straight to that spot. And the community bands together for Lapu-Lapu Vigil. There's a number of people here. A community vigil was held at Neepawa's Riverbend Park on Saturday, May 10th. The vigil was held in honor of the victims and families affected by the Lapu-Lapu Festival tragedy in Vancouver. Members of the public attended, including faith leaders from the local churches and MLA Jody Byram. The vigil, in addition to community support, included singing, prayers, and a candle lighting. The vigil was organized by Philcan of Neepawa area, with all welcome to attend. Due to the fire ban restrictions, electric candles were used in lieu of matchlit candles. And the White Mud Music Festival announces its 2025 dates. The organizing committee is excited to announce the third annual White Mud Music Festival this August 22nd and 23rd at the Lansdowne Centennial Park in Arden, Manitoba. It would be an understatement to say that the success of this community-minded event has been fantastic over the past 2 years, and the host committee would like to thank everyone for their support, and we look forward to seeing everyone again this August. With free camping included with your festival pass and yummy food trucks on site, it will be a weekend to remember. As in the past 2 festivals, this year's lineup has a little bit for everyone when it comes to the talented artists we have performing. The festival kicks off on Friday night at 7 with local musicians, the White Mad Blues Band, followed by Winnipeg band The Flush Monkeys. Once again this year, our final act to hit the stage on Friday night will be the B-34st from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, always a fan favorite. The B-34st puts on a high-energy 3-hour set of tunes to help you party the night away. The fun begins at noon on Saturday with Manitoba artist Mandy Ducharme and the Absolute Bees, followed by local Minnedosa performer Dan Lucier with his set of great country songs. Brandon's J4K, Just for Kicks, hits the stage at 4 p.m., and then Winnipeg's DB and the Deadbeats perform their blues rock set of music for us. 3 talented tribute acts are set to close out the festival Saturday night. First off is Huey Lewis and the News tribute band called Hip to Be Square, followed by Ramble Tamble performing your favorite CCR songs. To end this year's festival, there's a group of talented musicians called the Main Street Exiles, who perform all the biggest hits by the Rolling Stones. Something new this year, the host committee has decided to donate a portion of the proceeds to charity each year. We are pleased to announce that we have decided this year's recipient will be juvenile diabetes. For more information on our event or to purchase tickets, check out our website at whitemudmusicfestival.ca. And Nick Beavington awarded King Charles III Coronation Medal by Ken Waddell, and pictured here, Colonel Jody Hanson, 17th Wing, Honorable Anita R. Neville, PCOM and Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, Nick Beavington, his granddaughter Brooklyn Buer, and grandson Shane Buer, by Ken Waddell. The Honorable Anita R. Neville, PCOM and Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, presented King Charles III Coronation Medal to Nick Beavington of Gladstone. Beavington received his medal based on decades of service to his chosen community and the province. Nicholas Beavington was born in England on March 2, 1949. As a young man, Nick moved to Canada and settled in Gladstone, Manitoba, and became a permanent resident. Nick became involved with various organizations. One was with the Kinsmen, of which he is a chartered member. Another organization was the local Chamber of Commerce, of which he is also president. As president, he had a great organization to work with, and they organized and fundraised to erect Happy Rock statue for the town. Nick became involved with the Gladstone Legion No. 110 and served 2 terms as president. With his first term, Nick became involved with Mr. Bruno Brunechon, Honorary Council of France, and worked closely with him and was instrumental in getting and presenting the Knight of Legion honor medals to our deserving veterans at our branch and other Legion branches, including at Russell Legion, and presented medals there as well. During his second term in office, and with working with the executive and members, the Legion was able to donate $50,000 to help build a new swimming pool in Gladstone. The Legion obtained the naming rights for 5 years. In March of 2023, Dan Mazer presented Nick with the Community Service Award for his ongoing efforts of cleaning the streets, trimming trees, and other volunteer work within the town. So congratulations to Nick. And we have the Neepawa Banner and Press Home and Garden. What's the buzz about pollinators? And pictured bees are a popular and well-known pollinator, often seen buzzing around in gardens alongside butterflies and other insects. The following are some pollinator facts provided courtesy of Metro Creative Connections. Insects are the primary pollinators. However, birds, bats, and other creatures also spread pollen. The Xerces Society for Invertebrate Conservation credit honeybees, bumblebees, moths, wasps, flies, and beetles with pollinating the most plants. However, the ESA says between 200,000 and 300,000 invertebrate species are estimated to serve globally as pollinators. About 75% of all flowering plants rely on animal pollinators. Most bee species native to North America are solitary bees. And tips for the gardening beginner. A great number of people are showing interest in gardening, which is a rewarding hobby that's good for the mind and the body. Those who are new to gardening may need a crash course to get started. These pointers can help anyone foster a newfound passion for gardening. Spend time in the yard and decide where to house a garden. A far-off corner may get the most sun, but you forget about the garden if it's too far away. Ideally, the garden should be located where it will get at least 6 to 8 hours of sun each day. There should also be a water source nearby. The spot also should be convenient so that it is easy to go and pick vegetables or prune flowers. So if you're new to gardening, begin with a small garden footprint so that you can get your feet wet. A raised garden bed can be a good starting point because it is contained and easy to maintain. As your experience and garden grows, you can add to the garden size the next time around. Amend the soil. It's possible, but unlikely, that the soil in the backyard is the perfect mix to grow healthy plants. It's more likely that the garden will need some soil modification. You can test the soil makeup with your do-it-yourself kits or work with a garden center. Garden typically requires a mix of compost to add nutrients to the dirt, peat moss or coconut coir to help with the water retention and to make the soil lighter, and vermiculite that helps to retain water. A compost bin set up in the same time as the garden allows gardeners to continually produce nutrient-rich food to add to the garden. It's best to keep a few things in mind when planting a garden. Think about what will grow well in your climate. Consider how big the garden will be and the size of mature plants. A small garden will not be able to accommodate corn, for example. Also, how would you like the space to look and what will be its function? Is this a purely aesthetic garden or one that will be food-bearing? Start your seeds inside. If you'll be starting a garden from seeds, it's best to start indoors before your region's frost-free date. This way the delicate plants will get the needed care and can establish before they go outdoors in the ground. Keep them humid by covering the seedlings in plastic wrap. You can start with seeds in different containers, even empty egg cartons. Transplant to larger containers after the seedlings grow a second set of leaves. Once you're free from overnight frost, you can place the established strong seedlings in the ground. An automatic watering system, such as a timer hooked up to the sprinkler, can keep the garden well watered, which increases the chances of success. Then it will only be a matter of weeks before the garden can be enjoyed throughout the season. Empowering voices throughout Neepawa. Shelby Gillies establishing local speech-language pathology clinic by Owen Devereaux. The purpose of a speech-language pathologist, SLPs, is more than just establishing better communication. It's about establishing a better connection. Neepawa's own Shelby Gillies understands that need for connection and is bringing that mindset to each of her client interactions in this diverse and fulfilling field. Just over 7 months ago, Gillies ventured out on her own and opened a fully certified speech-language pathology clinic here in Neepawa. This opportunity was the culmination of 6 years of education, 4 years Bachelor of Science at Minot State and 2-year Master's, and an additional 2 years working as an SLP across the province. But for Shelby, it was also a chance to return home and give back to the community that means so much to her and her family. It's super exciting. My first couple of years out of school, I was constantly traveling for work, which was awesome. But now it's nice to wake up and just have a short drive to work, as well as just all the support in the community, said Gillies. Knowing people and having those relationships within the community is very important to me. I can walk into the school and I know most of the staff, or I can walk into the hospital and I know lots of the staff there as well. It's nice to not constantly be seeing all new faces, but also just giving back, contributing to my home is very fulfilling. Although speech therapy with children has a common association with the SLPs, Shelby explained to the Banner and Press that the profession's expertise encompasses a much broader scope. A lot of times I'll get questions when it comes to me working with adults or working in the hospitals, because not everyone understands the whole broad range of a speech-language pathologist. I've worked with clients that have language disorders, but also related to speech. Then you get the fluency, which is your stuttering. But along with that, I've worked with individuals with swallowing difficulties, often due to strokes or other medical conditions. Cognition stuff that we can work on to improve a patient's ability to not only communicate, but to live to the fullest. To further explain the point, Gillies used the example of an athlete tearing a muscle. Much like a physiotherapist helps in rebuilding the torn muscle, a speech-language pathologist must help in rebuilding the bridges of communication. Incredibly rewarding. In working with such a diverse range of clientele, Gillies said the job has truly been a rewarding challenge. I'm in a profession where we love to help, and helping them to graduate and move on and be successful without us. So it's just very rewarding when we do get to that point. I have a kid already now, and they're getting close to that point. We've been together for quite a bit of time, so it's sad to see them go, but it's also exciting at the same time, Gillies said. It's an incredible job and incredibly rewarding. A Better Connection has set up its office in the east wing of the Breaker 16 building. Anyone interested in learning more can do so by looking for A Better Connection with Shelby Gillies online and on its social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc. And on to sports. Minnesota youth compete at YBC Nationals. Robinson secures silver. Madden sets sights on coaching role by Casper Waran. And pictured bowlers Tyler Dick, Daniel Delgarno, Cadence Madden, and Owen Robinson finished competing at the Youth Bowl Canada Nationals last week. Above, a group photo showing the Minnesota bowling team at the YBC Nationals in Edmonton, Alberta. And at right, Owen Robinson with his first ever medal for Nationals. Robinson was awarded a silver after a tiebreaker game. A group of bowlers returned to Minnesota with their heads held high last week. These individuals were Owen Robinson, Bantam Boys, Cadence Madden, Senior Girls Singles, and duo Daniel Delgarno and Tyler Dick, Junior Boys Doubles, who attended the Youth Bowl Canada Nationals, YBC, from May 5th to May 7th, accompanied by coaches Debbie and Alan Tarn. While not all made the podium, each bowler put their best efforts forward and had fun while doing so. They all thoroughly enjoyed it. 2 of our players had never been to national tournaments before, so they were quite excited and a little bit overwhelmed with all of it, said Debbie. They learned lots and met a lot of new people. One quality of the Nationals that stuck out to the youth was a sense of fellowship, as all in attendance celebrated and aided each other regardless of if they were a teammate or a competitor. Another was the range of location those in attendance traveled from. They all made the comment that with the excitement and when they see the nationals and the level of competition with the bowlers across the country, and for them coming from a small town, it shows that no matter where they live, they can do a sports or any activity just as well as anyone's that's brought up in the larger centers, said Debbie. The 3-day event saw Madden bowl 22 games. Her top game at 297 with a tournament average of 231 to cap off her 6th and final national competition as a youth bowler. With Madden's final nationals as a youth bowler capped off, she is moving on to the adult league. We wish her all the best in that, and she has shown an interest in helping with the coaching aspect for the kids, said Debbie. We'd love to have her on board. She shows great sportsmanship and gets along great with kids. She would be a great addition to the coaching group. This was Dick's 3rd year at the Nationals. His top game totaled 280, and he came in with an overall average of 218. Dick and his doubles partner Delgado bowled for 21 games. Delgado made a landmark personal achievement during his first experience at the Nationals. He made his first 300 game, coming out of that particular round with a score of 301. His average for the tournament comes in at 195. First-time nationalist Robinson took home a silver after bowling 214 in a tiebreaker game. His national average was 188.9 as he bowled 7 games over 200. His highest game was 254, and he had 14 games that scored over 175. Robinson bowled for a total of 23 games during the tournament. Congratulations to each of these individuals on games well played. And from the Beautiful Plains Archives, Neepawa Girls 12 under fastball team. And this photo was dated to June of 1980, and it depicts the Neepawa Girls 12 and under fastball team. The team was coached by Jim Graham, seen at left, and Gary Graham. The players started in the back row from left to right are Tracy Watson, Marika Boyersman, Wendy Murray, Melissa Clausen, Barbara Lee, Michelle Albert, Belinda Webb, and Jennifer Walker. Front row, Kim Jensen, Tracy Evans, Nada Lindsay, Donna Mae Clark, and Sandra Graham. Quite a crew. And turning dreams into reality. Forgues win Volunteer Manitoba Community Leadership Award. And pictured, Gary in the middle and Marcia on the right, Forgue of Neepawa, were honored with the Volunteer Manitoba Community Leadership Award this month. AMM Vice President Brad Salek made the presentation. The Forgues are well known in the community for their Dream Ride efforts in association with the Dream Factory. By Joshua Jackson. Gary and Marcia Forgue have put a lot into enhancing the lives of those in the local community, and their efforts were recognized at Volunteer Manitoba's 41st Annual Awards in Winnipeg. The duo was nominated for and captured the Association of Manitoba Municipalities, AMM, Community Leadership Award. Gary and Marcia noted that being recognized for something they love to do was an honor. Volunteer Manitoba contacted us in March to let us know we are nominated and won the category. We were so surprised as we had no idea of the nomination, they said. The Forgues won the Community Leadership Award for their efforts in founding the Dream Ride, which helps raise money to make dreams come true from Westman children facing life-threatening illnesses, which they said is a cause near and dear to their hearts. Gary lost a sister when she was 13 years old to brain cancer and received a dream from Canada's Children's Wish Foundation before her passing, they said. We witnessed the impact and importance of the dream come true when a sister received it. Hope and happiness are truly remarkable during such a hard time. The Dream Factory is a Manitoba-based charitable organization, formerly known as the Rainbow Society, which, since 1983, has funded dreams for nearly 800 Manitoba families. They encourage kids to dream big, and dreams they have fulfilled run the spectrum from visiting Japan to meeting pop stars to princess makeovers. Gary and Marcia Forgue initially discovered the Dream Factory at a Dream Come True event for a Neepawa family. We met Michaela through the Curl for a Cause event, and her family invited us to her dream event. Seeing the dream come true for Michaela and her family, and the memories made was more than heartwarming, they said. We met Andrew from the Dream Factory at this event and learned more about them. their mission, and how they rely fully on fundraising and donations to make dreams come true for children in Manitoba. We knew it was something we wanted to try to help with. Every year, it's memorable and touching to see all the participants, sponsors, pledgers, volunteers, dream kids, and families coming together to make this possible. We are proud of the Dream Ride team and Neepawa as they make this a success. Every single pledger, cyclist, walker, sponsor, volunteer, and our community are what make the dreams come true for kids who deserve to dream big. The hope and happiness they are giving the families is amazing. The pair reflected on the community's support for the cause and how they've rallied behind them to raise money for the Dream Factory and created more events to raise funds, such as the Neepawa Rhythm Cycle Club starting a spin-a-thon, which will happen for the third time on June 26. The Neepawa Spin Club has also partnered with Landon Cameron and the Neepawa Golf Course to hold the second annual RCC Dream Ride Golf Tournament on June 8th, as well as a Field of Dreams night hosted by the Neepawa Club's baseball team. These events bring awareness to the cause and bring our dream community closer together, they said. A special thank you to Stephen and Kristen Jury, Landon Cameron, Tara McCartney, and Garrett and Shayna Rempel for their dedication and efforts to make this happen. We are so thankful for so many individuals who believe in the power of a dream. Looking back since the inception of the Dream Ride, the couple never imagined that it would blossom into the fundraiser it is today. Each event led us to the next event or person, and it all came together by the people we've met along the way. It is almost like it was meant to be, and this journey leads us to where we should be. The award was a special surprise and honor for the Dream Ride and belongs to our team and community. We are excited as a team to continue to build our event as more than 100 children are waiting for their dreams to come true. The organizers would like to thank the Dream Factory for nominating them for the award. We are so proud of our community and the Dream Ride family, they exclaimed. The 2025 Dream Factory Dream Ride for Kids takes place on July 5th, 2025. And the town of Neepawa launches a survey to establish business opportunities. The town of Neepawa Economic Development is officially launching its first Business Retention and Expansion (BR&E) survey. The town wants to better understand the future plans and needs of local businesses and how business owners, managers view the community as a place to do business. The information from the survey will be used to plan future economic development activities focused on the top priorities of local businesses. The town of Neepawa has retained Deloitte Canada, an economic development consulting firm, to assist with the project. Businesses are encouraged to participate in the survey as a higher number of responses leads to more reliable data. Deloitte will select businesses at random via telephone or email from May 19th to June 6, 2025. The survey should take no longer than 15 minutes to complete. Deloitte will be working with Marilyn Crew, Neepawa's Economic Development Officer, to review the completed surveys for challenges and opportunities that the local business community is facing. Supporting local business is the core of economic development, said Marilyn Crew, Economic Development Officer for Neepawa. We want to understand what businesses are experiencing, what's working, where the challenges are, and this survey helps us to do that. Our goal is to be a resource and a partner for businesses as they grow and navigate those challenges. The project is scheduled to be wrapped up in late June 2025, with all the results of the survey gathered and analyzed. Deloitte is a global leader in market research, recognized for innovation, quality, and trust. It helps municipalities connect effectively with residents and businesses through surveys that identify perception and opinions and pinpoint the importance of local issues. In Canada, they have been doing this for over 25 years. Their market research experts are experienced professionals committed to ensuring a positive survey experience for all respondents. You can learn more about them at www.deloitte.com. Where are we? And here. Local author commemorates Father's Service on VE Day. VE Day, May 8th, 1945. World War II ends 80 years ago. Local Westman author and teacher Sig Erickson commemorates his father's service in World War II by marketing his best-selling book, Dad at D-Day and Beyond. Sig's dad left him 38 pages of his experiences overseas in Europe during the war with the Canadian Army. The photo above shows Sig at a local military base on May 8th on VE Day. 80 years after the official end of World War II, Sigurun is named after an uncle who was killed during the Juno Beach invasion of Canadian forces at Normandy. Sig also enjoys talking with soldiers and visitors to his display table. We will never forget their service and sacrifice. We will always remember them all, both on the home front and overseas. And Neepawa choirs sing together. And pictured are the choir members in the midst of one of the many performances that were put on for all to enjoy during the 2024 May concert. The 2025 concert will have plenty more for the public to enjoy. 4 area vocal groups will be joining forces to present an enjoyable evening of singing on Thursday, May 22nd, at Knox Presbyterian Church. Hosted by the Neepawa Area Community Choir, the concert will feature guests the Choraleers, the Hymns, and the NACI Chorale. Doors will open for the event at 6:15, and the singing will begin at 7. Admission is by donation. All 4 groups have been meeting regularly since September. Under the direction of Susan Solomon and Blair Chapman, the just over 50 singers of the NACC, drawn largely from Neepawa, but with representation from other communities like Minnedosa and Gladstone, rehearse Wednesday evenings at the Neepawa United Anglican Church. This past season, the choir co-hosted a Lessons and Carols Christmas celebration and enjoyed a workshop evening with Winnipeg chorale specialist Maureen Furley. This coming November, the choir will be performing in Brandon at an event hosted by Westman chorale supergroup Connectus, an exciting opportunity. Also participating in the workshop and Christmas events was the Choraleers under the direction of Angie Weinsgerber. The ladies of the Choraleers meet every Tuesday evening at Arts Forward. Both the Choraleers and NACC are always open and welcoming to new singers. The NACI Chorale is under the new leadership of Miss Brett Klein. The group performed in January with NACI General Music rock bands and is planning a tour of the area in early June. Many of the singers in the choir were part of NACI's wonderful production of Aladdin recently. The men of the Hymns meet weekly to sing together and venture out to share their music with many seniors in Neepawa who appreciate their familiar selection of music, good humor, and vocal blend. Proceeds from the May 22nd concert will support the practice and performance venues for the choirs themselves, and NACI students who are selected to sing with the 2025 edition of the Westman Youth Choir. Knox Presbyterian is the best place in Neepawa to perform chorale music and the best place to hear it. Be there May 22nd for a great evening of live local music with friends, family, and neighbors. And Kinsman Court raises $3,000 for local family. And the Kinsman Courts recently held a drive-through lunch fundraiser in support of Sammy Uvato's Sammy Strong fundraiser. Cars lined up to purchase a delicious chicken parmesan lunch to go. Many local businesses ordered meals, with the public helping out as well. A total of $3,643 was raised, which will aid the family. And also pictured a whole new world at Roxy's Theatre, and I'm afraid the pictures might be too dark to see, but there's more scenes from Neepawa Area Collegiate Institute's performance of Disney's Aladdin, which was hosted last week in the Roxy Theatre. The students brought the story to life through their performance, providing an entertainment for all in attendance. And Out of Helen's Kitchen by Helen Drysdale, there's an information on Girl Guides and cookies. The Girl Guides were out selling their cookies this weekend. Of course, I bought a box of those well-known cookies. The Girl Guide cookies got their start in Regina, Saskatchewan in 1927, when Christina Ripesman, one of the guide leaders, was trying to raise train fare money to send the girls to the lake for summer camping trip. She made cookies at home and gave them to the girls to sell. The girls sold them to their neighbors and to their families for 10 cents a dozen. This idea proved to be very successful. In the following year, cookies were being sold by all the Girl Guides across Saskatchewan. 2 years later, the Canadian Council of Guides sanctioned the selling of cookies, and within several years, the sales of cookies was throughout Canada. Little did she know that she was starting one of our best-loved sweet traditions, Girl Guide cookies. I bought 4 boxes. Oops. Wherever there are Girl Guide cookies, there are cookie sales. Twice a year, March to June and October to December, the Girl Guides of Canada sell cookies to help fundraise. In 1953, the classic chocolate and vanilla sandwich type cookie made their first appearance. A box of 24 cookies cost 35 cents to purchase. These variety of cookie are always sold in spring. In 1992, Girl Guides cookies were careered into space with Canadian astronaut Roberta Bondar, herself a former Girl Guide. In 1995, my favorite Girl Guide cookies are introduced, the chocolatey mint cookies, and these are sold in the fall. Today, the Dare Company produces the Girl Guide cookies in a nut-free bakery in Ontario. Over 4 million boxes of Girl Guide cookies are sold each year across the country. You can purchase your Girl Guide cookies to satisfy your sweet tooth and support the Girl Guides. Your cookie purchases supports all levels of guiding to learn valuable life skills, discover their potential, and make lasting friendships. And Helen has included the original Girl Guide cookie recipe, as well as orange crinkle cookies. And we move to Looking Back by Caspar Wehrhan. 125 years ago, 1900, Franklin, Charles Eagle contemplates beginning the erection of his shop shortly. He has purchased a lot from R. Blair and has a very fine location. B.R. Hamilton and Company are making preparations for the erection of their new block on Mountain Avenue, immediately north of their business premises. The plans and specifications drawn out by Jones and Fusey present a fine-looking 2-story brick building adjoined by the hardware store by an archway over the lane which runs through the block. The main structure will be 81 by 60 with an upper flat of 16 by 34 over the arch. It is expected that the post office and customs department will be located downstairs. Upstairs, the room will be divided into offices. When completed, it will be one of the most imposing blocks in northwestern Manitoba. 100 years ago, 1925, McCreary, farmers owning sheep in this district, complain of lambs dying. Also, some of the older ewes are losing half of their lambs. Eden, next Sunday is the birthday Sunday, and all those who have not put their pennies in are reminded to do so. At the executive meeting on Tuesday, it was decided to send the birthday pennies to the Nova Scotia Relief Fund. Bernie, the working committee of our tennis club are some go-getters. They have one of our old courts scraped, and 2 new ones will be ready to put the nets up. Let's go! Kelwood, James Brown met with a nasty accident on his farm last Monday. While driving a team of young horses down a steep hill, they got beyond control. Mr. Brown was thrown from his load and dragged some distance before getting free. Dr. Dix was called, and he found the unfortunate man had his collarbone broken, besides suffering several bruises about the body and having most of the skin scraped from his face. Kelwood, Mr. Sayres, formerly of Eden and Gilbert Plains, is now manager of the local branch of the Standard Bank, Mr. Saddleton having gone into the Winnipeg offices last week. McCreary, there have been large shipments of bees arriving in McCreary the last few days in 2-pound packages. McCreary looks as though it's going to be a great bee center. Leslie Hancock, who is promoting hog culture amongst the boys and girls clubs of the province, reports very gratifying progress being made in this part of the country. He has returned here on May 23rd to select pigs for the members and requests that they not only shall there be extensive entry list, but there shall be also ample offerings of young pigs of the desired type. All interested are asked to get in touch with F.A. Surratt or W.S. Smith in good time so that the work of selection and allotment may be facilitated. 75 years ago, 1950, funeral services for Fletcher Martin were held on May 11th in the Eden United Church. Reverend J.S.B. Nixon officiated. Mr. Martin was born in Darlington, Ontario in 1861. He came west as a young man, taking a homestead in the Eden district, and later retired to the village. Burial was in the Riverside Cemetery in Neepawa. 50 years ago, 1975, and that is pictured here, Fred and Thelma Barker, along with Belle Finlayson, are featured displaying photo portraits they were presented with at a special fashion show convention in Winnipeg in May of 1975. These were in commemoration of more than 20 years' service to Robinson Stores. The parent company, Robinson Little, was celebrating its 100th anniversary that year as well. 100 years ago in London, Ontario, two young men opened the very first Robinson Little store, and in the century since, the company has grown until it now employs 1,500 men and women in 100 stores from Marathon, Ontario to Duncan, BC. Robinson stores have become a familiar part of life across the prairies in the past 10 years, and their store in Neepawa has served the people of this area for a large portion of that time. In keeping with the service, 3 Neepawa people, Fred and Thelma Barker and Belle Finlayson, have received special awards at a centenary celebration held in Winnipeg by the company, commemorating this more than 20 years service to the firm and the community. 20 years ago, 2005, Neepawa's Cooperative Play Center celebrated its 30th year of Operation Wednesday to a resounding chorus of Happy Birthday, sung by 3- and 4-year-olds who attended the center. And don't forget that our Chamber Fair is going to be held here May 23rd to 25th, 2025. Starts Friday, May 23rd, 4 p.m., the rides and carnival. Saturday, pancake breakfast, townwide yard sale, plant sales, color run, play day, midway rides, food trucks, pony rides, old-time dance and dinner. And Sunday, spring figure bike races, midway rides, reptile gardens, and food trucks. Don't forget to attend. And that concludes the Neepawa Banner and Press for Friday, May 16th, 2025. I hope you enjoyed it.